Hello, this is Dr. Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, four-time national judo champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, motivational speaker, educator, and coach. Right now, I would like to introduce you to another edition of Coffee with Rhadi. But before I get started, I want to tell you that I highly encourage you to go to www.thehowtogetunstuckblueprint.com. Thehowtogetunstuckblueprint.com. On the 16th of April of 2014, I am holding an absolutely fantastic teleclinic which will teach you how to get unstuck. Oftentimes in life, we get caught in these ruts and these cycles where we just cannot get out, where we are spinning our tires and we can't move forward no matter how much we rock forward and how much we rock backwards. We get stuck. We get stuck to the point where we're actually mashing the gas in life and the tires are spinning, but we're only wasting gasoline because we're not going anywhere. I want you to be able to get unstuck. I don't want you to sit outside and rev up your engine and make a lot of noise and have nothing happen. I can recall when I was watching this episode on The Cosby Show, where Bill Cosby was in the kitchen and he put some onions and some bell pepper and a little bit of olive oil in the pan, and he started frying the stuff up, and it was smelling good, and he had put water in the pots and had all the pots, making sounds and jingling like something was going on. But he really had nothing going on. It was just getting hot in there. There was a lot of steam, and it smelled good. And sometimes that's what we have going on in our lives. We just don't have anything in the pot. Things smell good. Things look good. We get dressed up. We go outside. We go to church. We drive a nice car. We're struggling to make the payments. But we're stuck. And sometimes this stuck is an emotional, sticking point. Sometimes it's a physical one. But whatever the case may be, I want to help you get unstuck. So please go to www.thehowtogetunstuckblueprint.com and sign up for my teleseminar, which will be held on the 16th of April. Now, here's what I want to talk to you about today. I had a wonderful opportunity to go to a tournament in Tampa, Florida. It was a novice tournament where my daughter and my son competed. My son got 2 third places and my daughter got a second place. My son had a fantastic tournament. He did absolutely great. He gave a phenomenal effort. And at this particular age, when he's at the age of 7, he'll be 8 soon, I'm only concerned with his effort. However, he was in a match, and he was losing a match, quite frankly, to somebody I thought that he should beat, and somebody that he thought that he should beat as well. But he lost. And I was trying to give him instructions. I was trying to get his attention. But the individual who he was fighting threw him on top of his head in the beginning of the match, and Rufus could just not reestablish himself emotionally. He's 7. So after the first match and the second match, we go outside, and he's bawling. I mean, he's crying. And I said, son, you did an excellent job. I said, what are you crying for? He said, Daddy, I'm crying because I'm losing the people that I should have beaten. And I said, no, son. I said, you lost, and you should have lost. And the reason why that you should have lost is because the privilege of winning is only given to those people, excuse me, who listen and who practice more than 2 times a week for 1 hour. I said, so you should have lost. I said, those other kids practice 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a week. I said, you practice 2 times a week for 1 hour each. I said, now what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to stop playing so much in practice when Daddy tells you to stop playing and tells you to start listening. I said, do you understand? He said, yes. I said, give Daddy a hug. I said, Daddy is very, very proud of you. Now, the secondary part of that conversation, which I didn't post on my Facebook page, but what I want all of you to know is I had the same conversation with Rufus later on with my wife. And then I asked him, well, Rufus, are you ready to start winning? And my son said, no, not right now, Daddy. And my wife looked at me and she smiled. And when he got up and he left, I said, that's a pretty smart kid. What he was saying was, I don't want to practice for 3, 4, and 5 times a week right now. And you know what? That's okay with me. When I was coming along, my parents never took me to a national championship. I never knew what a national championship was. I fought in the Sunshine State Games and in the state championships and the Southeastern championships, and I fought local tournaments. I never knew about any national championships or anything like that. Nothing. If my son never wants to fight in the national championships, that's okay. My son has done one tournament this year. Fine. Judo and jiu-jitsu and the martial arts in my house are mandatory. You'll do that till you hit 18. It is not extracurricular. It is part of the curriculum in the Ferguson household. Period. My son being able to line up on the line and fight another person and compete and look that person in the eye and being able to accept winning and to accept losing and understand that there's an element of winning or losing that is predicated upon the investment that you make. And then sometimes it doesn't matter how much of an investment you make, you still might lose. He needs to understand that. That can be gained through the sporting process. Now, why am I having this discussion with you? Well, there's a portion of successful behavior that you should try to somewhat reverse engineer. I'm not saying that you can reverse engineer success. That would mean that you can look at everybody's best practices and follow them, and then you will get the same outcome. Business doesn't work like that. Okay, it's not an engineering problem. Does success leave clues? Yes, of course it does leave some clues. But even when you connect those dots, that doesn't mean that you're going to be successful. But not connecting those dots at all, I can guarantee that you will fail. Now, here's what I mean when I mean you have to kind of reverse engineer success. I have this conversation with young folks, and if you have any young kids, I would encourage you to let them listen to this particular part of this Coffee with Rhadi. If you have any kids around the age of 12 and above, okay, I would definitely have them listen to this. Here's the key. Ask yourself what you want your life to be. How do you want your life to be? Do you want to be rich? Do you want to be wealthy? You want to live in a 2-2? Do you want to live in a 3-2? You want to live in a trailer park? Do you want to live in an RV? You want to travel the country? You want to travel the world? How do you want to live your life? Do you see yourself sipping on mimosas, sitting on a beach? Do you see yourself owning homes all over the globe? How do you want to live your life? Do you see yourself living in a White House, being the head of state somewhere? How do you want to live your life? Do you see yourself living on beachfront property? Do you see yourself living in a rural area? Do you want to live in an urban setting? Do you want to live in Manhattan? Do you want a brownstone somewhere in New York? How do you see your life? Do you want to live where it's hot? Do you want to live in Arizona? Do you have a place in Mexico? Would you like to travel to Brazil? How do you want your life to be? And then ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, where that fits in terms of excellence. You got to say, man, I want an excellent life. I want to be a billionaire. I want to have millions of dollars in the bank. Listen, if that's what you want, it's okay to say that. If you want to say, and a lot of people say this, I just want to be comfortable, then understand what comfortable is, because when you really write down comfortable, you'll find out that it means wealthy. But for people who say they want to be comfortable, what does comfortable mean? Okay. Now, if you just say, I just want an average life, I want to be average, it's cool. So, the investment that you make has some type of influence on the outcome. Now, if you want to squat 600 pounds, you're not going to walk in the gym and just squat 600 pounds tomorrow. It's going to take time for you to work, for you to train, for you to build up your soft tissue, your musculature, in order to handle that type of weight. Listen very carefully here. You're going to train for some time to handle that type of weight to exist amongst those people who can lift 600 pounds. So when you look at the life that you've structured in your mind, on paper, on a vision board, or that you've written out, or that you've jotted down in your note section of your phone, ask yourself where it fits in terms of excellence from a scale of 1 to 10. And then start behaving like that. So if you want to live a life that is X, then you're going to have to start doing the Y right now. Meaning, if you want to be comfortable, $500,000 a year, there's a couple ways to do that. You can become a medical doctor. You can become an entrepreneur. But if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to have to go to somebody's school or get in a coaching program or get your business degree, and then you can work on your MBA. People don't believe in getting an MBA, but it'll put you in a different circle of people where you can network to provide different avenues. You don't want to cut yourself off and just be an entrepreneur, so you got to get up in front of a room full of people and say, I don't have any formal training, I didn't go to school, I didn't do this and I didn't do that, but I'm still a man. Yeah, okay, whatever. You're called an outlier, and more often than not, you're gonna fail like that. Now, will you go to school and still fail? Yes. But we want to do all the things that we can possibly do in order to increase the propensity towards success. So we can do the coaching programs, we can do the mentorship, we can do all those things, and we can go to school too, because it doesn't have to be either or thing. You don't have to get up in front of a room full of people and say, I didn't go to school and I don't have X and I don't have Y, because right now you have the opportunity to create or recreate your particular situation. With that being said, what things have to be done now? What training has to be done? What type of training or proving ground do you need to put yourself in to create that situation that you want? If you say, I just want to be average. Cool. Man, go through life and be average. And then you'll be average on the back end, and you'll be okay if that's what you want to do, and you will be a success because that's what you desire to do. Now, if you say you want to live a life of excellence, if you say you don't ever want to have to chase after any bills or walk around and look for pennies to put them in a penny roll to go to the store, which I had to do when I was growing up. If you don't ever want to do anything like that, then you're going to have to make a better decision on the front end in terms of education, in terms of the investment of your time. If you say, man, I just want to be single, I want to travel the world, and I just want to do judo or jujitsu until I can't do it anymore. Great. Man, you can be a barista at Starbucks or wherever, man. And you can keep your money, you can live low and play high. And you will be a success. But what I'm telling you is you need to reverse engineer your particular success, meaning find out exactly what it is that you want and what it is that you say you want and what it is that you say that you want to do. And then do that and make some informed decisions. It's okay to get a career coach. It's okay to get coaching. It's okay to get life coaching. It's okay to get career coaching. And if you ever, during that particular time, find yourself in a place or space where you get stuck, then find someone who can help you get unstuck. Now, to close, a lot of us have done this. This is for the adults. A lot of us have done this in the first part of our lives. We didn't do it in the second half. I encourage you to do it in the second half of your life. In the first half of your life, you thought about, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to graduate, I'm going to get my law degree, I'm going to become a doctor, I'm going to get my MBA, or I'm going to graduate from school, and I'm going to go work a job. And you did all of that. You got married and you had kids, or you decided, I'm not going to get married, or I'm not going to have kids. Whatever it is, when you hit 35 to 45, you kind of figured out what it is you want to do on the front end of your life, and now you've done it, and now you find yourself in this cycle where you're just going to work, and you're going from work, and you're going to work, and you're going from work, and you're like, what's next? This can't be everything. Well, no, it doesn't have to be everything. But what you have to do is you kind of have to restructure or plan out the second half of your life and see what that looks like. It's very difficult for you to picture yourself 60, 70, 80 years old, but you have to do that in your mind, and you have to understand what that looks like. And you can't get so caught up in the grind that you don't know what it looks like when you come out of the grinder. With that being said, this is why I'm offering the How to Get Unstuck blueprint. This is why I'm offering the teleseminar on the 16th of April. And I do encourage you, as much as possible, to get my book, Coffee with Rhadi, that you can find at coffeewithrhadi.com. But also, please, if you're in a situation where you feel like you're stuck and you're going through the same cycle over and over again, and you want to write a book, or you want to invest in your legacy so that your children and your children's children have something different than what you have now. And when I mean legacy, it's not always money. Sometimes it's a legacy of production, a legacy of education, a legacy of health and wellness. I know that the generation before me doesn't eat like I eat, and I want to make sure that my kids understand health, wellness, and nutrition, and healthy eating habits and exercise differently than I did. So I provide a legacy of health and wellness to my children. Did I have it? Yes, I had it. It was different for me because my dad was a professional athlete. But everybody doesn't have it, especially in the African American community. So I'm really hardcore in terms of pursuing or providing that particular enlightenment to that particular community that doesn't have that information. But that's part of the legacy that I want to leave. And doing things like that will help you get unstuck. They will give you purpose. They will give you a path and a plan for which to follow so that you can achieve that which you want to achieve on the second half of your life, or what we call the back nine. So please visit www.thehowtogetunstuckblueprint.com and register for the teleseminar today. The seats for the teleseminar are limited because I don't have an unlimited amount of lines available. So please get in, and I will see you soon. This is Dr. Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, 4-time national judo champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, author, motivational speaker, and coach, and your local neighborhood internet get it done guy. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.